Hey there, I am Parth Doshi, exploring the field of RPA and sharing my learnings with you by making videos. So, in this video, we are going to see an interesting set of activities which I'm not sure many of us have explored, or maybe we have explored as well. But I found them very interesting and very useful in some cases. So, we are going to see how we can use them, what are its application, and let's see what more we can learn with them. So, let's get started. Now, let me give you a quick overview or a quick idea about what activities we are going to see. So, we are going to see some of the system trigger activities in UiPath. So, trigger can be in the sense of maybe when a mouse button is clicked or something, a mouse right, left, or something like that. When any of the keyboard keys are, you can say, clicked, so we use send hotkeys for that. So when some of that hotkeys are clicked, you need a particular set of actions to be performed. So how you all can do that, we are going to see that. So let's get started. Now the trigger activities, if we scroll down, so this is our UiPath Studio. If we scroll down here in available inside user events, and in that in system trigger, so if I just collapse this and then when I expand it, you see there are three triggers: hotkey trigger, mouse trigger, and system trigger. Now this come under uipath.uiautomation.activities. You see even this as well and even this as well. Now, as we know, when we use Excel activities, we have Excel application scope. We have scope for different activities like whatever we are going to use. So in the similar way, for these triggers, there is a scope called trigger scope. So, and these activities can be used only inside that. So now if you see this trigger scope, let's see the definition about it. Defines action that are triggered by various events included in UiPath.system activities. Now why it is written UiPath.system activities? Because you see they are already available over here, and this inside the system trigger, we are having this particular set of activities. So that's why in trigger scope it is mentioned as UiPath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag a trigger scope, and first let's understand that and later we'll go to further activities. So now when we have this trigger scope, we have drop trigger activities over here. Now in this, only these three set of activities can come, that is hotkey trigger, mouse trigger, system trigger. Now after that, when that particular trigger is encountered by our UiPath workflow, what sequence of steps do we want to perform? That we are going to define into actions. So you see this scope is divided into two parts. The upper one is trigger and the below one is the actions. Now the trigger one is used to help us identify the trigger, and the action one is used to help us identify what actions do we need to perform on that particular trigger. Now we are going to see what is the difference between hotkey trigger, mouse trigger, and a system trigger. So first let's go to system trigger. So now system trigger, you see you can only select two inputs, trigger inputs, that is keyboard or mouse. So if I select trigger, any of the trigger done by me through my keyboard will print something or do some particular action. If I select both, if I'm doing any action including my mouse or either my keyboard, the particular sequence will be executed. Now this is the input that we pass to it. Now wondering, if we already have the keyboard and mouse trigger in system trigger, then why do we have separately hotkey and mouse trigger? So we are going to see the difference between that as well. Now before that, you see we have options called block event. So let's read description about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove false. Specifies whether the event is blocked from acting on the indicated element. If false, the event is executed against the element. If true, the event is blocked and can later be replayed within the activity handler by using replay user event activity. Now if I'm blocking some particular event, but in my workflow I still want to get it performed, maybe that can be the case somewhere, but we obviously wouldn't do that. But if it is blocked and you still want to run it, in that case you can use a system trigger. And now if you set it to false, as we can read in the description, it will get executed. But if it not false and if it is true, then the activity won't get executed in the action sequence, and we will have to use replay user event activity. Now this was about system trigger. So what I'm going to do is, just for the demo purpose, I'm going to keep both of them true in the right line. I'm just going to print trigger trigger. So let me save, and so in right line, now after the workflow is running, if I perform any actions, I will be seeing a text trigger in my right line. So clicking on output, you see there is trigger. Right now I'm doing a mouse click, there is a trigger. I'm clicking enter, there is a trigger. I'm clicking down arrows on my keyboard, space bar, any alphabets, whatever I'm doing, that particular sequence is getting executed. Now when to stop it, you can have other trigger for that as well. To stop it or to come out of the loop, you can use break or something like that. So now I'm going to stop the workflow. But see, when I clicked on stop, before that also it printed the trigger. So this is how the system trigger is used. Whenever any mouse clicked or keyboard clicked is done, our trigger sequence is going to get executed. Now let me delete this and let me just go to hotkey trigger. So now the first and the major difference between system trigger and hotkey trigger is, in system trigger I was able to select only the option of keyboard, but now in hotkey trigger I have an option to select specific keys over here. So if I select enter, so my sequence will only get executed when enter is clicked. But in the case of system trigger, it was always getting executed. So that is the major difference between system trigger and the hotkey trigger. So what I'm going to do is, I'm again going to use, I shouldn't have deleted it, no problem. I'm just going to print hotkey trigger. So let's run the workflow. Now, even if I do any clicks, it won't print for me unless and until I have clicked enter. So right now I'm doing random, my keyboard clicks, my mouse clicks, but now I'm pressing enter. So my trigger got executed. You can see it's hotkey trigger again, again, again. So right now I'm clicking my enter button. So the trigger sequence is getting, action sequence is getting executed. But if I click any other random button, it's not getting executed. So when you have some specific requirements, like you want something to get triggered only when this particular button is clicked, in that case, for keyboard, in that case you can use hotkey trigger. So this is the difference between hotkey trigger and the system trigger, and this is how we can use hot. Now in the properties, you see key modifiers, the same options are there over here. Use Windows hotkey. If send window message is used, you can use this. Block event is set to true. So if event is blocked, I won't be able to execute my trigger. Now the remaining one is the mouse trigger. You see there are button left, button right, button middle options. So I'm going to keep it button left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my workflow. Now, okay, so I didn't change the text. It's going to show me hotkey trigger only. But see, now I'm clicking my mouse. So it is printing. Now if I just do random, I'm just pressing any buttons on my keyboard, it is not executing. Even on right click, it is not executing. But when I'm doing left, it is getting executed, as you can see over here right now. So now this is the difference. Again, the difference between system trigger and the mouse trigger is that in mouse you can give specific buttons. You see there is alt, control, shift, windows, button left, button right, button middle. You can give multiple options. So this is the difference between the system trigger and the mouse trigger. So if we see, the major difference between system triggers and the individual hotkey and mouse triggers is that we are able to specifically or particularly able to give the keys or the buttons in hotkey and mouse trigger, but that's not the case in system trigger. In system trigger, you can in generic select, in generic you can select what you say, in generic you can select which trigger you want to use, either keyboard trigger or mouse trigger. So I hope you understood the importance of system trigger, the trigger scope, and each of the concepts was cleared. In the later video, what I will try to do is I will try to explain this concept as well. Block user input, get source element, replay user elements. So because I try to keep my video shorts and informative, I'm not including everything in one video, but the next video will be on that block user input and how you can replay the event when it is blocked. So thank you for watching the complete video. Please do subscribe to my channel, Parth Doshi Learning by Doing, and see you in the next video. Thank you.